Welcome to St. Louis Park High School for exciting North Suburban Conference girls basketball. But before we begin, I wanted to give a special shout out to all the St. Louis Park boys and girls parents, and especially the girls' parents tonight. We're going to join the PA announcer as all freshmen through seniors are recognized in a special pregame ceremony.
And our very own in-home launderers. You guys have been there to provide whatever we need. Thank you for all that you do. We love our #1 fans. Woo!
There you see a shot of the parents
now
lined up. And now we'll join the public address announcer.
Allie Cager and her parents Courtney and Carrie Little. Carly Donald, her parents Bill and Denise Donald. Ellie Wolgamuth and her parents Craig and Carla. Emily Eastep and her mom Terry Eastep. Emma Bjorgard, Chris and Deb Bjorgard. Jessica Schmidt and her parents Dave and Mary Schmidt. Katura Jones and her parents Jay and Teresa. Radiance Brown and her mom Tiffany Brown. Shelby Borish, her parents Jean and Brian Borish. Taylor Brink, her mom Sarah Brink. Abby Olson, her parents Kurt and Trisha Olson. Addie Mae Perkins and her parents Michael and Kathleen Perkins. Allison Keith and her parents Rich and Heidi Keith. Amy Schulz and her dad Dan Schulz and her mom Carrie Anderson. Autumn Ballesteros and her mother Trudy Mace. Bella Halstead and her parents Jean Halstead and Kim Sherman. Jane and Mara Henderson and their mother Julie Henderson. Caitlin Ederer, her dad Todd Ederer and mom Lynn Duffy. Lauren Resnick and her parents Mike and Barry Resnick. Michaela Ebert and her parents Lori and Brian Ebert. Rachel Welke, her parents Jeff and Lisa Welke. Skylar Nagorski, her parents Julie and Dave Nagorski. Tammy Kovacevic with Mary and Evan Peterson. Taylor Giles and her mom Vernice Johnson. And Laura Myers and her parents Maggie and Rich Myers. Let's give a big hand for all of the parents.
There you take a look at all the parents from all the first families of St. Louis Park girls basketball, all 30-odd something players and their parents. We've got the Henderson sisters out there in terms of Mara, who's a freshman, and her senior sister Jane, the special memory for the Hendersons. You see Mike Resnick and Barry Resnick out there with their daughter Lauren. Mike will be the announcer for today's game. And then also the Donalds I see, Bill Donald and Denise Donald with their daughter Carly. Really a wonderful night for the program to be able to honor and recognize all the young ladies for their accomplishments. And with any good athlete, you've got to have a good set of parents behind them, and it's really a pleasure that the program and Coach Tim Senshin are able to cover that tonight. It's really a special memory. They do it only once a year, so we're glad from Park 16. Want to thank Paul and Misty for being able to come on early and join us here tonight with the broadcast. Really nice. For Tim Senshin, the new head coach at St. Louis Park, the Orioles are off to a 1-7 start, and they'll be playing Irondale tonight. The Knights are also at 1-7 in this North Suburban Conference matchup. There you see Mike Resnick in your view there, the young man to your left adorned in the swanky, nice sweater, talking basketball like he does. He's a former St. Louis Park player himself. And Mike also was really involved in the radio station. There's Mike Resnick, ladies and gentlemen, my broadcast partner who will be joining us. Congratulations, Mike. We really covered it nicely. Yeah, a really nice ceremony and got a nice wide view. There you take a look at our catbird seat up here. There we go. Mike's going to repeat himself.
It's a good night in the gym, and a nice way to honor the parents here before the game here against Irondale. So glad to be back. You obviously are looking live at an almost sold-out gymnasium here in St. Louis Park, Minnesota, where the Orioles are going to be hosting the Knights from Irondale, and I believe they're out of Columbia Heights area. Is that correct? Or not Columbia Heights, New Brighton, right, John? And glad to be back in the booth with my longtime friend, John Fromm. John and I have known each other for somewhere in the neighborhood of 35 years, and he's still willing to put up with me. So, and for those of you that don't recognize John, John is the voice of the Oriole hockey and baseball team. So he's puts in a lot of valuable time here at St. Louis Park, and I think we owe him a lot of credit. So thanks, John, and thanks for joining me.
And it was really wonderful to see the pregame ceremony. Roughly about 30 young ladies out there, with some scantily or scatterly clad young men and parents and and moms that were out there. Really nice shot. And we should mention, Mike, as you're throwing compliments out left and right, you're the voice of Oriole softball yourself, and you had to wear several hats last year when the Orioles locked up with Edison in that doubleheader.
Well, it was a lot of fun, John. You know, we've got a crack staff here at Park 16 TV. They do a great job, and it's fun to work with a bunch of professionals and give the girls some acknowledgement. You know, when we were in school, I think the public access TV was just on the brink of starting, and we didn't have the opportunity. We would have loved to have had some of this. So I just think it's great that we get the support from the team, and it's a pleasure to be out here, and anything we can do to fill in.
We should mention, too, for all of you Park parents who are watching the replay of this on Channel 16 and are saying to yourself, wow, Mike, I'd like to get a copy of tonight's game. That can be done relatively easily if you follow the instructions on the TV you see there. You can call 952-924-2635. Talk to Paul Broden, who's not only the director in the truck today, but he's the one who can burn you DVDs. And you can always go to parktv.org to see replay times. Paul's really good about putting the replay times up, too. And you don't have to have cable, and you don't have to necessarily live in St. Louis Park. I know, you were able to access some of the on-demand programming from your abode in a different locale.
That's true. That's true. And the nice thing about, I believe it's Vimeo, isn't it, that is doing it? So for those kids or family members that don't live in the state, or maybe you live in St. Louis Park and but you don't have cable access TV, you have satellite, it is a nice way to access the broadcast. And so it's just a great opportunity again. So take advantage of the number listed below there on the screen if you want to order a copy of the DVD and have a nice keepsake for the family.
Yeah, I believe if you order 3 or more, and please let the coaching staff, Coach Sension, know. I know you can get a group rate too of only $10 a DVD. There you take a wide-angle view at the Orioles, donned in their orange with black and white trim shorts and their beautiful white warm-ups.
Yeah.
We're going to step away momentarily here, but we'll be right back with the starting lineups and beginning of the game. So stick with us on Park 16, and welcome.
Think you found every hazard out here today? Think again. The spot you missed could be a killer. That spot on your skin could be skin cancer. Fact is, if you're a man over 50, you're in a group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma, the kind that kills one person every hour. 1 in 5 Americans is likely to develop a form of skin cancer during their lifetime. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. It's easy. Follow through and check your skin. It could be the save of a lifetime. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Well, you're back in St. Louis Park, Minnesota at the St. Louis Park Senior High School, where tonight the Orioles are hosting the Knights from Irondale in a North Suburban clash. This is the second game for both teams in the conference. And my name is Mike Resnick, and I'll be doing the play-by-play tonight. And I'm joined by my longtime personal friend, John Fromm, the voice of several Oriole teams, such as hockey and baseball. John, thanks for joining me. And it looks like we should have a good matchup tonight.
Looking forward to it, Mike, and great to join you here for our first girls basketball contest of the year. The Knights come in with a 1-7 balance sheet, as well as St. Louis Park. And these teams met last year on a game I believe that you did color on, and it was a really competitive, down-to-the-wire affair. And I know the Knights are coached by Dean Coughlin. I think you had a chance to visit with him early on in the week. And they're led by a couple of seniors in Stephanie Meyer and Brooke Dagelo, who both are averaging about 7 a game, and a sophomore guard in Delaney Kohler, who's also punching in about 6. They did get some bad news earlier on this week as they lost one of their starting guards, Sarah Skubel, who came up with a sprained ankle, you were informing me, and yeah, she'll be a big loss for them. So
turns out she rolled her ankle with only a couple minutes left in the game Tuesday night against Chisago Lake. So a big loss for them, as Sarah does provide some valuable minutes for the Knights. So the other captain that we should probably announce as well is Stephanie Meyer. Stephanie, Samantha, and Brooke are the tri-captains for the Knights, and they will lead the way tonight, along with Courtney Carr will be filling in for Sarah Skubel. So we've got starting lineups of Stephanie Meyer, Courtney Carr, number 11 is Delaney Kohler, number 12 Samantha Grock, and number 20 is Brooke Dagelo. So that rounds it out on the Knight side. And for the Orioles, we are looking at freshman guard Mara Henderson, number 3. Number 12 is sophomore guard Amy Schultz. Number 23, Caitlin Eder. Number 22 and power forward / center Skylar Nagorski, and rounding out the starting lineup for St. Louis Park, number 33 sophomore Lauren Resnick. So looks like we're going to be getting started here in about 30 seconds. And like John said, this will be a good matchup for these teams, as they're both coming in with a 1-7 record and very comparable experience level.
I'm really, it's really a contrasting set of experiences out there as well. St. Louis Park, probably the youngest team in the state of Minnesota in terms of their starting rotation, with all 5 of the players either freshmen or sophomores. And in Irondale's case, you've got 3 seniors in the starting lineup, so the experience edge goes to the Knights, but youth, exuberance, and the future goes to the Orioles.
We're going to take a quick break for the national anthem.
St. Louis Park High School for tonight's game with Irondale High School and your very own Orioles. Please rise, remove your hats, face our flag as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Well, a very nice rendition of the national anthem, and looks like we're going to be getting set up for our public address lineup announcements.
Yeah, exciting night to join us, and catch into the starting lineups here.
First for the Knights, number 1, Stephanie Snyder. For the Orioles, number 3, Mara Henderson.
There's Stephanie Meyer leading it off for the Knights, senior guard.
And that's Mara Henderson meeting her out at midcourt. Yep. Courtney Carr, number 4. And she'll be met by number 12, sophomore Amy Schultz. For the Knights, you've got number 11, Delaney Kohler. And for the Orioles, number 22 is sophomore Skylar Nagorski. For the Knights, number 12, Samantha Grock. And for the Orioles, sophomore Caitlin Eder. Brooke Dagalo, number 20.
For the Orioles, number 33, Lauren Resnick.
And meeting her out at midcourt, it will be number 33, sophomore Lauren Resnick. So there's your 5, John, for both sides.
And as we get ready to go here, really nice rotation of the starting lineups, and both teams will form the circle and get themselves bonded up for the start of the game. Love the volume level that we're going to hear out of both teams. I don't know if we can pick that up. Should be a fun Friday night of basketball. The Orioles are off for almost a couple weeks after tonight, so I know Coach Senshin's got to be hoping for good things all around from his team, as well as Coach Coughlin for the Knights.
Interestingly enough, you know, we say they're off, but they only get a couple of days. They're off from games, and then there's going to be, they'll still have practices. So
right.
It's no rest for the weary, as they say, John.
Well, a nice little break here, and today's the start of winter break as well for the Park students and the Irondale students. So looking forward to a little time away from the classroom.
Interestingly enough, you know, in speaking with Coach Dean Coughlin prior to the game, he said his team will be actually playing in a JV varsity holiday tournament that I think they're going to be hosting. So Irondale, Blake's, St. Paul Humboldt, and the Fair School.
Oh, that's exciting.
So we're set for tip-off. It's Nagorski versus Dagalo, and the Orioles look like they will win it. Amy Schultz controls the tip. Orioles have won half of their tips this year, John.
Oh.
So a big upgrade from last year. There's a quick foul on number 12. That's Samantha Grock. First on Samantha and first team foul. Oriole ball in front of the Knight bench. That's Lauren Resnick throwing it in. Oh, over and back. So Caitlin caught it and hopped over the timeline. So ball will be going back to the Knights.
Bad luck there, and Coach Senshin did have a couple words for her.
So Grock with the ball, and she's trapped in the middle. Finds number 4. That's Courtney Carr from the corner. She misses. Grock does not get boxed out. And now a three-pointer, and that is a miss. And we've got a foul on Mara Henderson, and I believe, Coach Senshin did not like that call. She was shooting 3, so I believe, John, that's going to be Stephanie Meyer going to the line shooting 3 shots.
Yeah, I mean, Meyer got tremendous arc on that three-point attempt, and Henderson came at her hard with a jump, but you can see Coach Senshin not happy about that contact, and I do think it was minimal.
Oh,
now he's going to say
now
it was
they've reversed it, yeah.
After the fact.
So it must have been on the floor as opposed to the shot. So that was Kohler throwing it in, and they get it down low to number 20 is Brooke Dagalo.
Nice,
so
nice entry pass by Kohler there. She's able to split the Oriole defense and get it to her teammate.
So with 17 minutes left in the first, Orioles find themselves down 2-0. Oh, and a quick pass down to Mara Henderson. So now we're evened up at 2, and the Orioles are in a semi-press here, about a 3/4 press. They've got a 1-2-2 going. Eder presses the ball. The Knights find it quickly in the corner, and that's number 11. That should be Kohler from the corner. Delaney in the offseason, in the spring, she's a softball player.
Really nice job that time by both teams coming down the floor and executing their offense to perfection.
So Resnick at the top of the key. They swing it back to Schultz. Schultz back to Resnick. Resnick over to Henderson. That's Mara Henderson. And Schultz from the corner, no good. Let's see if Nagorski with the rebound. She swings it over. Resnick into the middle. She takes a shot. She misses. She gets her. Oh, she almost had her own rebound. All right. So cleared away by number 1 is Stephanie Meyer. So Orioles are down 4-2. Again, Kohler in the corner. A lot of box out. Resnick with the rebound. She hangs on. She gets it out to Eder, and Eder leads on the fast break. Eder. She loses that, should be travel. Yep, you can't roll on the floor with it, John.
Yeah, and Caitlin tried to split Stephanie Meyer there, and the senior Meyer, who's, I believe, a 3-year regular for them, was able to force the tie-up on alternate possession. It does go to Park. Nice job so far by the Orioles, as well as executing a fast-paced offense.
Resnick on the inbound fast, found Schultz in the corner. That's Nagorski with the shot from the elbow. That misses, and Groth with the rebound. So we're at the about 15.5-minute mark, and the Orioles are down by 2. And oh, the baby hook by Brooke Dagelow. We haven't seen that in some time down here at Oriole Arena.
Yeah, it kind of looked like one of the Timberwolves last night. I know Pekovic had a nice game, and he had an arsenal of shots to use.
Well, it was fun to see them break that 12-game winning streak. Yeah. So the Knights now swinging it around, and that's Dagelow again underneath, and good box out, and Nagorski clears out to Resnick.
They've really been trying to push it into the interior there, and Daglio with 2 early hoops, and there
Schultz gets blocked.
And Daglio's number is called again that time, this time for a block.
She's been very active. Excuse me. She's been very active so far. Resnick on the inbound pass.
See if the Knights stay with their 1-2-2 defense.
And Schultz from the corner, she misses. Rebound goes to, it looks like that was Courtney Carr. CC they call her on the offseason.
No relation to ML Carr.
No.
It'd be interesting if the...
Oh, it could have been a travel there, but they let it go. And rebound goes to the Knights out of bounds. So Oriole basketball, 14:50 left, and we're at a 6-2. We've got substitutions coming in. So we've got senior captain Jane Henderson now in, and sophomore center 45, that's Abigail Olson. And they replace Caitlin Eder and Skylar Nagorski.
As we talked about earlier, St. Louis Park, the youngest team, I believe, in the state of Minnesota. Abby Olson tries that little duck under move there.
She gets blocked. And Schultz with the rebound. She goes to the floor. Carr goes to the floor. Or excuse me, that's Meyer goes to the floor. We've got a jump ball. Possession arrow goes to the Knights.
That Meyer is really a scrappy senior. She really had a nice game last year, and I noticed the other night in their loss to Chisago Lakes, she came up with 14 points for them from her point guard position. There's Jane Henderson trying to clamp down defensively on her.
Yep. Jane brings a lot of positive energy on the defensive side of the ball for the Orioles. So they swing it over now. That's Grock in the corner, and Olson helps on the weak side. Shot goes up, and oh, it finds the way in. And that's Dagelow.
She had 6 points now for Dagelow.
She definitely is the spark plug here early. So Henderson to Resnick, and she gets called for the travel.
Good idea by Lauren Resnick, the sophomore. She faked right, almost crossed her over on the left side, but unfortunately she didn't drop that dribble down until the referee whistled the infraction.
Well, hopefully the Orioles won't press too hard here. They'll stay within their game plan and just play Oriole basketball, John.
Yeah, good start, I think, for both teams. I mean, even though the Knights are up early, I think the Orioles have a lot to build on here. Good pressure defensively.
So we've got 33 now in the game. That's Maggie Schley. And I missed the call, John. Did you get that?
Yeah, Stephanie Meyer wasn't able to corral that pass and went out of bounds and stepped on a line out there.
So turnover goes to the Orioles. That's Mara Henderson, freshman sensation at the top of the key. She gets it over to Resnick. Resnick takes a dribble, gets it over to Schultz. Schultz finds Mara on the right side of the floor. They're looking into Olson. They just can't seem to find her. Resnick gives the ball fake and loses the ball, and it goes over to Brooke Dagelow, and she clears it over to Delaney Kohler, who gives it back to Meyer. And they reset, and that's 33 is Schley in the game.
And both teams.
Oh, good cross-court pass. They find, over the back. I believe that's going to be called.
Number 20, Dalio there. She's crashed the boards early and getting 6 points and a couple of rebounds, but that time way too aggressive for Irondale. The Orioles will have some substitution come in the game, and that's Caitlin Ederer back in the game for St. Louis Park. Mike, you know, the Henderson sisters are out there for St. Louis Park. Obviously a 9th and a 12th grader, but they seem to work well together and know where each other are and run a lot of plays through each other.
Yeah, you know, oh, there we go. Olsen turns it over, but Schultz gets the steal, and then we've got a foul. That should be on Meyer as Abby Olsen goes to the floor. Yeah, they definitely work together well, and I think, you know, anytime you've got a sibling there, you have that special communication.
Right, exactly. I know Lauren Resnick and her older brother Jonah probably have a lot of good communication skills as we head to a timeout here.
So we've got 12 minutes and 47 seconds left. Orioles 2, Knights 8. And I believe that was the Orioles calling a timeout. I'm not sure if that was a 30 or a full, but I'm going to assume it was a full, John.
I think we're going to go with that. And, you know, both teams started out, St. Louis Park started out in a 1-2-1-1 zone almost, and then a 1-3-1 almost for for Irondale, and then St. Louis Park switched up into a little man-to-man action as well. That's something I've seen St. Louis Park twice, but is that something Coach Senchen is pretty good about, rotating his defensive calls? You know,
I think early in the year they tried to do a lot of man-to-man, and then they've switched. They played a little bit of a 2-3, and most recently they've gone with a 1-2-2 when they've matched up against some teams with a stronger play. So almost a box and one, but not quite the full-fledged box and one opportunity. So we've got we're back here. Caitlin Ederer, excuse me, on the baseline, throwing in.
2-3 scenario here for the Knights.
Get it into Jane Henderson, who pulls the trigger very quickly. Olsen underneath the rebound, and Olsen makes the basket. So offensive rebound by Abigail Olsen and the basket. And the Orioles cut the lead in half. It's now 8-4. So we've got a new guard now in for the Knights.
And you've got
number 3. I'm sorry, I don't have a name on her. They swing it around.
I apologize as well. I don't have that number.
I believe her name is Norton. Norton's a track star, and Olsen with the defensive rebound. She clears it to Mara. Mara back to the middle, and that's Jane. Jane pushes it up to Caitlin. Caitlin fakes left, goes right into the middle, and double dribble. So that's a turnover, and the ball will go back to the Knights.
It seems like Irondale's really got a two-pronged attack. They've got Meyer as Miss Outside, but she does a nice job as a senior on a lot of her entry work to find the man in the middle, or in this case, the woman in the middle, in Dalio. So 8-4 is the score here, and Meyer trying to beat Henderson, going around that left side.
Meyer finds number 4 in the corner is Courtney Carr. Oh, and she finds, I believe that's Norton, number 3. I believe that's, her name is Rachel Norton, and she's on the board now, and it's 10-4. Oh, and Jane Henderson throws it away, and here comes Norton back.
It was Carr on a nice steal there to Norton. Oh, a possible traveling violation there. Norton swings it left side.
Definitely let it go, and it'll be out of bounds. Good box out by the Orioles there. And the ball goes back to the Orioles. So, and now with that, a substitution. Number 22, Skylar Nagorski back in, and she's replacing Mara Henderson.
Now, one of those young guns for the Orioles, Skylar and Abby seem to get a lot of the board work inside, and they're needed to corral a lot of those loose caroms.
Yeah, Skylar the last couple of games has been in double digits for rebounds. I believe last game she had 11. The game prior to that she had 12. Oh, she's wide open underneath, and they just don't see her. And that's Olsen going up, and she gets fouled. Foul should be on number 33, Maggie Shalai.
Maggie Shalai, just like July with an sh.
Correct.
Some of the Irondale fans enjoying the fact that we could actually pronounce her name correctly.
That's right.
Which in our case is very unusual.
Right. That's what pregame preparation does for you. Oh, I guess the game will be on CTN in Roseville for those folks on that side of the river. So Abigail Olsen on the line shooting 2, and the first one is no good. That foul on Shalai was her first, and that's the team 4th foul. Olsen shooting the second of 2. That basket's good.
Nice deliberate free throw style for Abby, and she really gets a lot of support on that left hand when she releases, takes her time. Nice to see good fundamentals.
Good follow through. Ooh, that might have been a travel on Norton. They let it go. Three-pointer, that's by Meyer, and she hits it. So Orioles had cut the lead in half, and now it's 5-13 in favor of the Knights.
Great ball movement on that sequence for Irondale, as Meyer's the benefactor of that with her three-pointer.
Olsen drops her shoulder, can't get it to fall, and Nagorski, number 22, and Maggie Shalai, number 33, battle for the rebound, and it's a jump ball, possession arrow going to the Orioles. That's Jane Henderson. Jane takes it from Caitlin Ederer. She takes that little rhythm dribble on the baseline and knocks it down. And then Caitlin hits it out of bounds. It'll stay with the Knights. So all of a sudden, the Orioles have picked up a little quick spurt of energy, John.
It was nice. Jane kind of faked the shot there and beat her clean off the dribble and had a real easy 2 to 3 footer off that. Irondale, I've been really impressed with Irondale's ball movement. Even when they brought in Norton as a reserve here, as Carr drives to the hoop, they seem to have play an excellent inside-out game, going high-low a lot of times and really utilizing a lot of good sequences.
Good point, John. That was Skylar Nagorski on the rebound, and now Jane Henderson drives in. She misses. Olsen goes to the floor. She didn't go out of bounds. Somehow she managed to stay in, finds Eder top of the key. Eder to Nagorski. Nagorski, 2! So the Orioles now are behind 9-13. They're cutting the gap. And Irondale keeps pushing it up, John. Oh, and a beautiful shot by Courtney Carr just inside the arc.
Good ball movement by both sides. A nice sequence by the Orioles in their last time down the court. Skylar got the benefit of the hoop there, but a nice job on the dribble drive penetration. Open that up.
So Schultz down to Abigail Olsen, who goes up, and Shalai makes the foul. I believe that's her second, and it should be the team 5th. We're waiting for the official call.
Yeah, and Abby saw a lot of time last year in the post position as a freshman too, so she's a really experienced sophomore for Park as well. As we mentioned, Coach Senshin, after 7 years in the Hopkins program, this is his first year as the head coach at Park, but he's got a very full cupboard of what we call underclassmen talent.
The cupboard is very deep. The Olsen misses the first of 2, and we had a substitution that was Resnick in for Schultz. So Abby goes for the second one. Yeah, Abby actually had a very good year last year. She was a starter most of the season and was named All-Conference Honorable Mention last year. So coming off a very good freshman year. Also, Caitlin Eder was one of the starters, and Mara Henderson. So we brought back, some experience, but we're still very young on the Orioles side of the court. And the Orioles drop into, it looks like they're in a 1-2 modified. It's hard to say.
Yeah, almost a 2-3, but it's a drop down there.
So a lot of good sagging, and good help, and Caitlin gets the steal. She's followed behind. Nobody's telling her. Yep, unfortunately, nobody told her. And that's going to be Oriole basketball. So a good hustle play.
Yeah, Dalio made a great hustle play coming up from behind from her center position. She's pretty athletic at her 6-foot frame there, but unfortunately for the Knights, no dice in Oriole basketball.
Correct. So Resnick inbounds to Olsen, who takes a little power dribble, and she can't get it to fall. So we've had a couple of chances under there, John, and we just can't seem to get that ball to drop.
Nice little duck under move that time by Abby, and unfortunately she's not able to finish, but Senshin's got to be happy with the game so far. And it's important to be so patient too, Mike, with all the youth, as we talked about being the youngest team in the state, we believe. You know, Oriole fans got to be understandable about that and patient as well, as Meyer misses her 3-point attempt.
Meyer did take it. Eder turns her back to the basket. Now she swings it around. There should be a foul on number 12. That's Samantha Grock. And I believe, is that her second, John?
Yeah, that's her second foul as well. And I believe that's the 6th team foul overall.
Yep.
I didn't even.
Good call. So we've got Mara Henderson now in the game for Abigail Olsen. And Resnick will throw it in front of the Knight bench. So gets it in to Mara Henderson, who throws it back to Resnick. Resnick, and she gets the push off. It should be on the floor. That's number 1.
Is that Meyer again?
It should be Meyer, and I believe we're in the 1-and-1.
Yeah, that's the 7th foul of the half with 8.5 minutes remaining in the first half. really a dramatic difference in fouls, as that's the 7th for Irondale, and the Orioles only have 1 foul, and that was early in the game on Mara.
I would say that the Resnick shooting 1 of 1 and 1. And she misses the first, and it goes to number 4's Courtney Carr gets the rebound. Yeah, John, you know, I think this is attributed to the Knights just seem to be playing a little more aggressively than the Orioles at this point. They're swarming the ball. That foul should be on Henderson. I believe that's Mara.
Yeah. Her second of the half. But yeah, I think, you know, and you can handle that as a coach as well. You know, they're up on the scoreboard 15-9. They're playing a little more aggressively. At the post position especially, Dalio has a lot of aggressiveness to her play and uses her body quite well down there as she's trying to get some inside position here off the break.
Tip. So Resnick tips it. I thought it was off of Grock, but it stays on this side of the floor. It'll be night ball, and I believe that is Delaney. I'm sorry, it's Samantha Grock. Oh, no, it is Delaney. I'm sorry, Delaney Kohler throws it in. 11 and 12 looks similar from there in my old eyes. So Delaney throws it over to number 3. That's Norton, who finds
There's a Carr again, misses.
Yep, and Resnick with the rebound, and she controls the dribble, and she pushes it over to Mara Henderson. Mara looks up the floor. She's got a trailer. She finds Jane Henderson. Oh, and she can't hang on. And there's a scrum, and it's going to be night basketball. So, John, I think what you're seeing is that the Orioles are trying to push it up the floor, and for some reason they're just about a half step behind at this point. But I like the fact that they continue to make the effort to push the ball up the floor.
And nice job that time by Lauren Resnick on the box out to get things started offensively. She really made some nice preliminary contact and got low defensively with her bottom half to try to create that space that was needed. And we witnessed Mara and Jane trying to work together there, as Mara was pretty much corralled there, and Jane, she tried to find Jane as the cutter there, but the pass was quite a bit too high, unfortunately. So
I agree. So we have a timeout here, and 7 minutes, 52 seconds left in the first half. St. Louis Park 9 and the Knights of Irondale 15. So, you know, it's a fun game to watch when the Orioles can be competitive. I know there's been a few games, if you look at the scoreboard for both of the teams, if you look at the box score, it really didn't look like they were as competitive, but I think the Orioles and the Knights have proved that they can hold their own for the first half. It's just putting both halves together for a solid game, John.
And also having with, you know, when you and I were in high school, you had 4 8-minute quarters, and now with the 36-minute 2-half game, you've got to be in better shape.
A beautiful break. It looked to me like Brooke Dayglow had pulled her pivot foot, but she found Delaney underneath for an easy bucket. So 17-9, and that was Mara Henderson on the drive. We're going to get you caught up here. Mara's going to go to the foul line to shoot 2. So foul was on Kohler, and Kohler, that's her first foul, team 8th. So we're 2 away from the double bonus. Mara makes the first.
Mara, only a 9th grader, just got a ton of action last year as an 8th grader. As you mentioned, she's got a nice build for a young lady of her age and a great skill set.
And the second one is no good. So the Orioles are having trouble from the line tonight, and hopefully they can continue. Oh, Skylar Nagorski makes a good hustle play and slaps it out of bounds. So Delaney Kohler trying to push it down to Dayglow. You can see the couple of combinations working very effectively so far for the Knights, and we've got a substitution. That's going to be Meyer coming back in for Norton.
And nice for Irondale when they take Meyer out of the game, that between the different players in terms of Grook and Kohler, they're able to still get some pretty good guard play and good movement offensively. Nice push down to the corner and a nice 3 ball thrown up that time by Meyer. Unfortunately for them, not able to hit.
So rebound by Resnick, who gets it over to Henderson. Henderson pushes it up to Caitlin Eder, who cannot control the ball, and it's going to go back to the Knights. So, John, this has been something that the Orioles have struggled with a little bit this year. Is they will make a nice play and they push it down, and then for some reason or another, it just doesn't go the way they're hoping. So, if they can get a good roll going, I think that would really help. Get a couple nice plays, string a couple baskets, get a couple stops. They'll get right back in this game. It's only a 7-point lead.
Well, I like the pressure sequence that Senshin's calling. A nice little trap there. And a turnover is caused by that.
And Nagorski goes to the floor. She gets it up to Resnick. Resnick tries to hold the dribble. She goes to the floor with Delaney. And Delaney Kohler pushes it over to, that's Grock. And Grock gets it over the timeline. Back to Kohler. Nagorski steps in, and Resnick gets the steal, and she gets it off. Oh my goodness, John, what action is going on here?
Yeah, I know soccer's not a natural game for any of these girls, but the ball was on the floor so much both times that really good hustle plays though by the Orioles that time, by Lauren Resnick and Nagorski. And you can see Skylar's breathing hard. She's working hard on both ends of the court. She's got a tough draw tonight down low on the pivot.
So there was a foul called on that play. Number 20 is Dagalo, and she went after it, and Resnick went after it. Resnick had position, and the foul goes to Dagalo, her second, team 9th, and Lauren Resnick finds herself back at the charity stripe.
You know, I've seen 2 of the Oriole games before, the Southwest game and the nice victory over Highland Park, and Lauren is one of the most unselfish players on the team, and fundamentally, in my eyes, one of the soundest in terms of her ability to box out as well and distribute the basketball.
Well, she's having some difficulties tonight at the line, but she's really hustling on defense, and hopefully they'll be able to get a stop here. So that's Delaney Kohler on the wing. Over to Norton. Norton, top of the key. Resnick takes a good swipe at her. No foul called. They find Dagalo on the baseline, and she gets deflected by Nagorski. Nagorski's got arms that just don't end, and then she gives her a little one of these, and so Nagorski, I believe that's her first foul, and that should be the team 3rd foul. Olsen waiting to check in. Schultz looks like she's popping off the bench, so we're going to have a couple of substitutions. Resnick comes off, Ederer comes off, and in comes Schultz and Olsen. And John, this is the Oriole version of the Twin Towers right now. We've got Olsen and Nagorski both in. Typically they would substitute for each other, but it looks like Tim is going with tall ball, and a good effort by Courtney Carr trying to swat the ball back in on that air ball by the Knights.
You know, I mentioned to you when I was at the Highland Park game, I was really impressed with some of the up and under moves and some of the defense that Abby Olsen was playing that night. And you're right, when her and Nagorski are in there, you've got some size, some bulk, and a variety of low post moves is there. You see Abby going up the up and under there.
So Nagorski finds Olsen, who takes a couple of power dribbles and makes her way to the basket. So give credit Abby Olsen for 2 points. I think Skylar probably gets 4 total, but and timeout goes to the Orioles. So 17-12 with 6 minutes and 1 second left in the first half. And John, we've got a ball game.
We do, and a nice sequence there. Abby's got 4 as well on the interior. Skylar's got 2 as well, and able to both of them have, I believe. I didn't get the official rebound totals on some of those earlier because my ability to talk and do stats at the same time is definitely pushed to the limit tonight, Mike. But I'm doing the best I can in service of the Oriole program.
Well, we definitely are missing some of our crack staff tonight. Obviously, with the holidays, it's hard to keep everybody in town. But, I think we're doing the best we can with our resources, John.
Yep, and I'll try to pull our way as Abby Olsen tries to finish the 3-point play here. We should mention there's only 6 minutes remaining in the half, but Orioles are in a great sequence because any future fouls on Irondale the rest of the half are all going to be 2-shotters for St. Louis Park. So
that's right, with the double bonus. And Olsen misses the opportunity for the 3-point play. You know, John, it's really...
Yeah, I don't think the Orioles have hit a free throw yet in the half, and that's something that's got to be disarming to Coach Sensen.
Yeah, I think maybe Mara has 1, but other than that, I don't know that they've scored. No, you're right. We've got an even score. So you're probably right, John. I stand corrected. They've really struggled from the free throw line. Oh, and they've got a big trap, and it should be a 5-second call.
Beautiful.
It is.
Beautiful trap by Jane Henderson that time as her and Amy worked really nicely together, and it was nice for Amy Schultz to collapse down and cause that, getting the help of having the baseline down there, just nowhere to go.
Well, they've gone to a different style of defense. Tim has really been stressing, playing the girl hard and not going for the steal, not going for the block. Oh, there's the keeper play. Nagorski, and she missed the little running hook, and she goes back and gets the ball.
Wow,
and a nice hustle play by Skylar Nagorski.
And the Orioles keep the ball there. Skylar, boy, was she quick after that entry pass. She turned and almost hooked that player to get by her so fast. What was the name of the play you called it?
It's a design play where they make the entry play. It's a keeper play where she just curls around. She keeps it. Jane gets her shot blocked. Rebound is by Dagalo. She outlets it to Carr. Carr going in strong. She dishes to Norton. Norton throws it to the orange jersey. And that is Caitlin Ederer. Caitlin bringing it up the middle. She doesn't see the girl from behind. Swings it over to Henderson. Henderson takes a drive. She gets blocked by Degelo.
Would have liked to see Jane pull up there, maybe drive 2 more feet, and she would have had open space for about a 12-footer, but she tried to force it inside there.
You know, you're right, John. She had that shot at the elbow, and it probably would have been, with rebounder, she probably would have been safe just to take that. Unfortunately, a lot of times when it rebound, that goes in. Okay, Henderson swings it to Ederer from 3. Ederer, she misses the 3. Schultz goes over the back, and they're going to call it on number 12, Amy Schultz, who was a hustle play, but I believe Delaney Kohler had position. And, oh, yep, that was a call. He pointed in the other direction. So we're at the just under the 5-minute mark, 12-17. The Knights are ahead of St. Louis Park. Orioles have really picked up. Now they're in a 3 across. It looks like a 1-2-2 full court press. Oh, Shalai looks like she traveled, but she kept her pivot. Here's Meyer. Meyer, she dribbles into the elbow, kicks it over to Shalai. Shalai over to Norton. Norton in the corner for Kohler. Kohler, long shot misses.
Nice job by Mara to try to contest that, and maybe that momentarily caused the airball situation.
And Ederer yo-yoing at the top of the key. Now you've got Schultz. Schultz waits. She gets it to Jane Henderson, Tamara Henderson. Coach Senshin is begging them to move the ball. Here is Mara. Mara looking for the post. Abigail Olsen asking for it. And is she on the roll? She finds her on the roll. And that's a beautiful play by Mara Henderson to Abigail Olsen on the low block.
And Abby was really ready to accept that pass, changed her footwork on 2 occasions to get herself in a better position to receive that, and no hesitation to go right up on the finish.
So on the entry pass there, we just missed Abigail Olsen goes, and here's the replay. Henderson gets the double team. She kicks it over to Olsen. Olsen with the layup.
And I think Abby slid down right to left there just at the last second before the pass was distributed to get herself in a better angle to put that layup home.
She did. She found a good open spot on the floor. So Resnick now in for Schultz. And Knights have the ball. And Olsen slides in, and she gets a steal.
Boy, a lot of body work down there after that turnover. I'll tell you, Dalio really went hard at Abby Olsen as they're going to work each other down low here again.
They swing it, they swing it. They found Resnick. Resnick circle. She goes a little short. Rebound, Ederer. Ederer wants to go up. She gets fouled. And that should be Degelo's 3rd foul, right, John?
Yeah, that's her 3rd as well.
Boy,
and they might have to quick hook her here, because with 3 and only 3:40 left in the first half, be surprised if the Irondale coaching staff doesn't put their heads together and decide to remove her.
Well, Coach Dean's got his crack staff of coaches over there. They're talking about it.
They're all nicely adorned in their maroon shirts as well.
Oh, and the Orioles continue to struggle at the free throw line. Schultz shooting 2, and the first one, or excuse me, Ederer shooting 2. The first one's a miss. And we have a substitution. That's Skylar Nagorski, who comes in for Abigail Olsen, who gets a well-deserved rest at the 3-minute and 40-second mark of the first half.
I believe that's 0 for 8 or 0 for 9 from the charity line so far this half. But
they would definitely have the lead if they were to make their free throws here. Well, it's night ball, and that's Kohler in the corner. She finds Meyer. Meyer swings it over, and they did a nice job of swinging it around. And missed shot. Henderson hangs on. That's Jane Henderson who gets fouled, and they call the jump. Oh,
I thought they were going to call a reach in there initially.
And a technical foul is called on number 4. That's Courtney Carr.
No, that's an unusual sequence. Carr just got whistled for the technical.
She got a technical.
She's the one that helped cause the jump ball, and I don't know if she thought...
There was a scrum afterwards, John. You're going to see here on the replay that Carr and Henderson get tangled up. Now watch at the end of the play here. There's a little bit of a swing, and... Yep, and there's a push. So I'm not sure what happened there, but it looked like it was a little bit of a scrum. So they're going to put Mara Henderson on the line to shoot the technical, and Orioles will get the basketball back. And Mara makes it. So
just what the Orioles needed. Just clear everybody out of that free throw area, and let me shoot it on my own like
that's
practice.
Right. So Henderson shooting the second. And that's good. So now The Orioles are at 16, Knights 17, 1-point lead for the Knights with 3 minutes and 17 seconds left. Resnick is going to inbound at the timeline, and they're going to try and push her into the backcourt.
Really bad break for the Knights in that sequence because she had done a great job to force the tie-up, but then her aggressiveness not only caused the 2 points to be awarded to St. Louis Park when Mara hit those charity stripes.
Ooh, she traveled.
But, you know, Park's got the ball here and a chance to go up.
Right. Henderson, she drives, she misses. That's Mara, she's swinging around, she's looking for an opening, she throws it up, she misses. Jane Henderson with the rebound goes up. She can't finish it, and it's Kohler comes up with the ball. Oh, and a timeout goes to the Knights. And it's a 30-second timeout, I believe, John. So 17-16, Knight lead with 2 minutes and 51 seconds left in the first. I tell you what, John, I think we're getting our money's worth tonight.
Well, we sure are, and we should mention, as the girls are hosting Irondale tonight, the Oriole boys program takes the traveling road show also up to Irondale, is in North Suburban play whenever one team is hosting another team, that you can rest assured that the boys or girls are playing the other boys or girls team.
You know, typically that's the case, and this year's been a little different. I think the Oriole girls have been playing, and maybe that was because it was non-conference games, but they've had games on Mondays and Thursdays, and the boys have played Tuesdays and Fridays, so it's really been all over the board, and you know, it's fun, and it's always an exciting time to get out and get a couple games in a week, and for these kids, you know, with school and all their other activities, it's a challenge to keep up with their homework.
Well, and we should mention, too, that the boys are off to a 5-2 start to start the year, led by DJ Pollard and Kashif Hayes. And if you're in town next week and you want to check out some nice basketball, nice drive that time by...
That's Norton, and she is the speedster. She's a track star, and she turned on the jets that time. Ooh, Mara to Jane. Jane Henderson finds Ederer in the wing. She looks down to Skylar. Oh, there you go. Skylar gets it. Skylar turns and misses, and Mara Henderson's there for the rebound, and Mara goes up, and no foul is called. She's going to go again, and she pushes off with the elbow. And is that an offensive, John? Yep, they're calling.
Yes, he did call it on Mara
Henderson
that time.
Gets an offensive call. And the Knights fans are starting to roar. I'm sorry?
Little words being exchanged there by Coach Senshin, as there was a lot of contact down low on both ends. Mara did rip that ball out of her hands, and she did a nice job following up that miss.
Yep.
I'm not sure if...
I don't see it here. I think when she swung the elbow there was some contact. So he's got Mara with her third foul, and he keeps her in the game. And now the foul is called, and Coach Senshin is livid over there.
I think that foul was on Carr that time. And Mara, you know what was great about that sequence? Mara could have been upset about the fact that she lost a basket down on the offensive end and had a foul registered, but immediately she maintained her aggressiveness and made the defensive play to cause the turnover, and now she's right back at the charity stripe.
She is. So hopefully she can keep her wits about her, and you know, she makes this, she can cut the lead to 1 again, John.
Well, I just wanted to finish my point from earlier too, that as she's got 3 in a row after the Orioles started 0 for 8. We just leave Henderson out there. The boys team has an exciting matchup next week in the Edina Holiday Tournament. They're going to play Edina, who's got 2 Division I recruits, and I believe that's on Thursday night at the Edina Community Center. So for those of you watching, make sure you get out and watch some exciting Oriole basketball during the holidays next week.
It's a good call, John, and I think they're titling that one "The Battle for Highway 100." So it should be fun to see how that winds up. So Mara Henderson hits both, and then she's rewarded by getting a little spot on the bench for a break, and Olsen slides in. Oh, and Meyer comes right back with a tray. So now we're looking at, it was only 2?
Well, it was a tray, but her second 3 of the half already. Nice arc that Meyer has on the outside shots.
I really like the rotation on the ball. She followed through, and Olsen had a layup, and she turned the wrong way. So she kicks it back out to Schultz, and Skylar Nagorski gets the rebound, and she kicks it over to Ederer. Ederer finds Resnick at the top of the key. She dribble drives. She gets partially blocked. Oh, and I think that's going to be Olsen over the back. She did not have position yet.
Yeah, it was. But good aggressiveness with that Twin Towers formation, as you were talking about. They really do seem to do a nice job. As you see the replay here on the last sequence. So nice job moving it back to Meyer there for the trifecta.
And Chalet did a nice job of recognizing the opening at the top. She kicked it back out, and she gets the assist. So now the Knights are breaking the press again. Oh, a wild throw, but Kohler comes down with it. Kohler, and Carr was bordering on the timeline. Kohler kicks it back out. Norton, she has all day to think about it. She dribbles into the free throw line, misses the shot. Schultz with the rebound, and Amy Schultz leads the break.
To tell you, Norton had all day to finish there after that dribble drive penetration and the kickback to her. But she chose to bring it in for a 10-footer and still missed it.
Yep. So Orioles now patient, circling the ball around the perimeter. Oh, nice. Schultz goes in, but a 3-second call on Olsen.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think, John, she had the campfire, the Coleman pup tent, and the s'mores going, so they caught her for camping in the lane.
Yeah, the only thing missing was the hot dogs and perhaps some mosquito repellent.
No DEET, please. All right, so the Knights get it over the timeline. Then again, they find Kohler in the corner. Kohler lines it up. She misses. There's a battle for it underneath Meyer, and Meyer misses, and they're going to call a foul on Olsen, I believe. Let's see. It's either going to be Olsen or Resnick. They were both down there. Let's see who gets the push.
I think it is 45.
Yep,
Olsen on the push there.
And you'll see she had her hand on her hip. You just can't do that, John.
And Meyer's an experienced player, as we've seen, and not only should she have that outside game, but she's really a floor general for them.
Oh, and she misses. Oh, but it was a 2-shot foul.
And I know with that name, we've talked about that. I know you and Howard discussed that last year. Stephanie Meyer, she's no relation to the author who wrote all the different sequence of the Twilight movies and books.
Oh, and she can't make it, and no one gets the rebound. It goes out to Chalet. Chalet gets it.
You say Chalet, I say Chalet.
Yeah. Courtney Carr kicks it back out. Meyer top, and she'll just reset. Delaney finds Courtney Carr wide open underneath. Resnick tips it, and that goes off to Ederer. So the Orioles grab it. We've got 20 seconds left in the half. They're looking for one good shot. I don't know if Section sees this. She's going all the way. And a left-handed layup. She can't make it. Olsen tips it. Olsen brings it down, and there's going to be a foul called on Meyer, I believe. Let's see, John. Yeah. The fouls are really adding up.
Is that Meyer, number 4?
Number 1.
Or number 1 Meyer.
Yep, number 1 Meyer.
So that's her third as well as what I've got.
So if they continue this, the second half will be very interesting for the Knights.
And they've just received their Baker's dozen foul for the half. That was their 13th personal already. So
Olsen shooting 2. First one is no good.
Only 9 seconds remaining in the first half. We'll see what the Knights try to set up here if they can box out and get the rebound.
Again, the Orioles continue to struggle at the line, with the exception of Mara, who's made a couple or 3 of them. So let's see if Abigail can knock one down here. And she makes it. So 19-22, 9 seconds left. Clock is running. 7, 6. Kohler's going. She looks like she traveled and they let it go. And she definitely got away with an extra step. Caitlin Ederer throws it down, and there's your halftime. So 24 for the Knights and 19 for St. Louis Park. A very, very aggressive first half. A lot of slapping, a lot of reach play. This was the kind of game that the Orioles sometimes get into, and it looks like, if they could hit their foul shots, John, this would be a different game right now.
Yeah, except for Mara hitting those 3 at the end, as we mentioned. I believe they missed their first 8, and unfortunately, you only got a 5-point margin. But for Coach Senchen, some really good things to build on in terms of the aggressive post play that he's been getting out of Abby Olsen, who's corralled 6 points already, and then you've got Skylar, who's put in 2 for St. Louis Park. Both girls have hit the boards aggressively. Mara's also chipped in 5 points from her guard position as well. So, as we step away momentarily for the end of the first half, a lot to build on. I expect St. Louis Park to be able to capitalize on some of the foul trouble that Irondale has run themselves into, as I believe they have 3 players that have 3 fouls already going into the second half.
And not just 3 players, but 3 of their star players. So
yes,
that will change the complexion of the game in a hurry. So before we head off to break, we just wanted to remind everybody that we want to thank you for joining in with the broadcast with us. And if you are interested, you can order a copy of the broadcast. And John, do you have the number there?
Yeah, and I'm sure Paul will put up the graphic. Paul Broden, who's our crack director down in the truck, just give him a holler, 952-924-2635. Or please visit parktv.org. They've got all kinds of live web streaming of a lot of the games we do, and then you can also do all the on-demand watching as well. I didn't mention in the first half, but I told Paul I would. One of the great new features on Comcast Cable this December is we had the pleasure of being here the night that St. Louis Park played Apple Valley in boys hoops a couple weeks ago. That is now an on-demand game of the month that Paul selects, and the Apple Valley St. Louis Park game from December 4th, where Tyus Jones, the most acclaimed member of the junior class in the country, had a great coming out party, and Kashif Hayes had a great game for the Orioles. That's the game of the month selection. All you need to do is use your use your remote control. Use the I'm sorry, Paul, what was that? HD game of the month. I apologize. Nice. Everything we do here at Park 16 is high def. We're state of the art and we're proud.
Very good. So we'll be back in a few moments with our second half of tonight's matchup between St. Louis Park and Irondale. Back for the second half of tonight's tilt between the Knights of Irondale and the Orioles of St. Louis Park. As you see here on the screen, the Knights have a 5-point lead. They got a easy basket towards the end of the second half that increased the lead from 3 to 5. So it's been a very competitive game so far. We've got a battle between two teams with the exact same record going into tonight's tilt, and the teams are very evenly matched. My partner John is coming back. He was down on press row talking with some of the luminaries that have attended the game here. So the Orioles look like they're going to mix it up here, second half. And
just going to say I'm back, and before Misty pans down, we've got our orange crush can that we're showing up here. When Mike and I were in school back in the late 70s, early 80s, kids used to bring those orange crush cans to school and shake them for all the games, and maybe we'll bring that topic back. Well, it was fun. They used to fill them with pennies and they'd shake them. They made quite a noise maker. I believe at Rosh Hashanah or Purim they call those a grogger. So now we've got the Knights get down low, and that's Dagalo missing the bunny, and Henderson looking up quick, and Nagorski, she runs the lane, she misses. Mara Henderson tries for the rest, she can't get it, and here comes the speedster Norton, who gets to the basket with uncontested. Norton, you got that one for two. Hey, Norton, one of these days. Schultz gets her shot blocked and out of bounds, and it's going to the Knights. So boy, it's a lot of fire wagon basketball to start things. Mara had a really nice cross-court pass there on that drive, unable to finish for Park, but we'll see what Park can materialize here. As we mentioned earlier, Mike, 3 different players for Irondale are saddled with 3 fouls, including the young lady with the ball there, Stephanie Meyer, and Carr, number 4, as well as Dagalo. And Dagalo and Meyer are big keys to their offense. So see. And she loses the ball. Dagalo loses it. Olsen picks it up, and Henderson on the drive. She's going all the way. She had Caitlin wide open. She decided to go with it on her own, and she gets the shot. Very slow to get up. Yeah. She's limping back. I'm not sure if she's hurt or. And Meyer wide open. She misses. Amy Schultz with the rebound. She looks up. Ederer finds Henderson, who gets blocked. Dalio with a nice facial. There was a facial there. Call Kameh. It's a holiday, the season of giving, and she gave her a block. But nice pass by Caitlin to get her down low. But you mentioned on the sequence before when Maya finished there that she might have twisted her ankle. We'll see how she's doing. And Henderson steps out of bounds. John, you got to know where you are on the floor. Unfortunately, she caught it and took that step back off the sideline, and the ball goes back to the Knights. So Carr throwing it in to Meyer, and Meyer will yo-yo it up. She goes, she keeps the ball in the middle of the floor, John. I really like that, so you can really spread the floor and balance it off. And Norton only looking to the right, only looking right. Yeah, there's a tendency there, and we'll see if Coach Senchen and the players can kind of overcompensate and try to get her go to the left hand.
Kohler picks it up in the corner. She was stuck. Now Kohler looking. They really are looking just to the right here, and they find Daglow underneath wide open, and she misses the bunny. And then you've got Nagorski. Nagorski off to Eder. Eder, oh, she has Olsen in the middle, wide open. Got it to her a little late and deep, and Olsen misses the first, gets a rebound, and Olsen goes back in.
That's 8 for Abby on the day. Nice job there holding and able to hold her position and not go up right away, because she might have got blocked on her sequencer, so she gathered herself first.
Agreed. This is probably Abigail's best game of the season so far, and I don't think the Knights were ready for her to step in like this.
Well,
timeout.
Yeah, and as you see there, as Abby corralled herself, and I really think she would have had a tough time getting that shot up in the first sequence, and 3 fouls on Dalio probably prevented her from taking an over-aggressive tone there, where she might have tried for the block if she didn't want to possibly reach a 4th foul. So
that's an excellent call out, John, and you know that works when you've got the lead, but as the Orioles continue to close the gap here, she's not going to be able to continue that type of play. She's going to have to step up. She's going to have to challenge any of those inside shots, because let's be honest, the Knights aren't that big down low.
No, exactly. If anything, Park's got an advantage, even though Dalio's a really quality interior player for them. With Abby playing well and with also having a lot of board presence and rebound capabilities and scoring capabilities with Skylar Nagorski, you know, that is an advantage Park has.
Well, it looks like the Orioles are going to sub it up here, and Lauren Resnick back in for the Orioles. She comes in to give Caitlin Eder a rest, and now and Senchen keeps in the Twin Towers. This is a combination that seems to be working tonight, with Nagorski and Olsen kind of making it difficult for matchups for the Irondale team down low. So
well, and then on this 2-3 defense,
and now everyone's confused. Orioles set up on defense, and they had the ball.
I really like that Tim Senchen set him up to play the 2-3, even though we had the ball. That was confused all of us.
I think we can predict what's going to happen next time down the floor. So now we've got Henderson at the top of the key. Henderson to Resnick. Resnick with a beautiful bounce pass into Olsen. Olsen gets triple teamed, and she's and they called her for a travel.
It was a nice one-hand entry bounce pass by Lauren Resnick.
Here you can see it again, John, on the replay.
Yeah, look at
that one. Led her perfectly to the base, and unfortunately, Abby just had a challenge getting it up. So Orioles lose the ball. It goes over to the Knights, and that's Meyer. Meyer being hawked by Schultz. She can't see the floor. She had somebody wide open, John. Who was that?
I believe that was number 4, Carr.
Okay. So, and
there's a sequence where Carr turned to run the baseline, and Meyer threw it, and nobody was home.
There you go. Henderson finds Resnick in the corner. She misses it, but she gets her own rebound.
Absolutely.
And then she keeps the dribble, and she comes back, and she gets fouled, but no call. And there was a little push-off there was a little confrontation between Delaney, Kohler, and Resnick, the 2 softball players. And Resnick goes for the quick, and Resnick gets her to tip it off her hand. So a hustle play by Lauren.
And Park switched it up defensively. They showed the 2-3 out of the timeout when we first had the ball, but then they came back down and we're in a 1-2-2. So we'll see if Senchen keeps moving things along. But I was going to comment when they run the 2-3 in the defense, Park, with having Lauren on that left wing there with Abby along with Skylar, you got 2 taller players, but then you got Lauren's speed and aggressiveness.
Sorry.
I was just going to say speed and aggressiveness. So it's really a nice sequence back there when they run that.
Good call, John. I didn't mean to step on your touchdown call there, but I got excited as they had her trapped on the corner. So Resnick hawking Norton. Norton gets it on the top to Delaney Kohler. Kohler, left-hand dribble. She picks it up at half court. You never want to pick the ball up at half court, John. You're just helping out the defense.
And you can see Nagorski trying to get her to go to her left side there. She's over playing her to the right hand there.
Drive, she misses. Olsen goes for it. Mara Henderson comes up. Now they've got a break. If she can get it to Skylar, too late.
Too late on that.
Too late.
Carr, really a nice step in there. Over to Norton.
Let's see if Olsen takes her out. And she misses it. Olsen with the rebound. She lackadaisical. She throws it up, and unfortunately it was a little shy to getting to Skylar. Now Norton wide open in the corner, and she hits it. And the fans had to talk her into shooting it.
You know, when Norton didn't start the game, Mike, and she's got 9 points off the bench, a big presence for Norton.
I hear you. So now we've got Mara Henderson out to Resnick. She gets fouled, and they don't call it. And Skylar's on the corner. Resnick controlling over to Henderson. That's Mara Henderson. She dribble drives. She goes straight in. She misses the shot, and she's on the floor again. And now it's Norton and Schultz. And it's no basket. And Courtney Carr gets the rebound and the putback.
Norton's foot speed and ability to leave the defensive position to get receive that headman pass was big, and then Carr nicely followed for the finish.
Orioles are struggling a little bit here. Uh-oh, there we go. Resnick picks it up. And Resnick throws it right into Carr. Carr gets slapped, and she doesn't get the call foul. Henderson gave her a good poke check from behind.
Yeah, she could have got 2 minutes in the penalty box there for illegal use of the hands.
Dagelo and Olsen finding it, and there's a steal by Schultz, and Resnick comes up with the steal, and now Resnick brings it up. No press going on for the Knights. Resnick finds Schultz down to Henderson. Henderson
nice
up
duck
and
under
under,
move.
And we've got a basket for the Orioles, and then a 30-second timeout for the Orioles.
Beautiful duck under move there. It was Dalio again not wanting to get her fourth foul, but that time she pushed out. As we watch the replay here, nice entry passes down low.
There you go, good movement. Resnick
Little
to
fake,
Schultz.
and she gets Dalio up, and she's right by her for the finish.
John, I like that. As we saw, there was 3 quick passes without a dribble there, and you know, if we can keep the ball off the floor, you can move it twice as quick, really make that defensive work and defensive side work. So we're at the 12-minute, 23 seconds in the left in the game. St. Louis Park 25, the Irondale Knights 30. And you know, John, it's been right around this cushion the whole game. It's been about 5 points, 7 points. And I think if the Orioles could figure out a way just to get a stop and then come back with the basket, that would be ideal.
Well, and as the PA announcer plays the song "We Are Young," it reminds me that this is the youth movement that's putting everything in for St. Louis Park. All 25 points today have been scored by the youngsters for St. Louis Park. And I know, Mike, you had a relation with Joel Cook, longtime traveling coach and assistant JV coach last year, who coached almost all of these girls in the traveling program. He was a big loss when he passed away in the spring. I know at some point we'd like to discuss that a little bit. So
it's a good call out, John. So we've got Meyer bringing it up. She's up, dribbles it over the timeline. That's now Jane Henderson in the game, and Courtney Carr goes right by Henderson. She gets the easy layup, and now it's 32-25 Knights. So we've got both Hendersons in, Caitlin Eder in, Lauren Resnick and Abigail Olsen. Henderson to Henderson. Jane looking to dribble drive. She takes it all the way in with a little scoop shot. She misses it. Abigail Olsen rebound, takes it down low, and good.
That's 11 for Abby, and you mentioned that's her season high, and she really finished strong that time as a crazy looking scoop shot that time attempted by Jane Henderson. It almost went, but Abby, even though she didn't have the position, she overrid the box out by the Knight player that time.
Yeah. You know, she brought it down low. The defender thought she could get a swat at it, but she was able to bring it up strong. So Abby on the line shooting 1, and it's good. So all of a sudden, we've got a 4-point game, 28-32 Knights, and the Orioles are in a press. Meyer breaks the press easily, dribbling with her left hand. And they find the streaking Chalet. She travels and then throws it out of bounds. But definitely moved her pivot foot there, John. Chalet throws it out. And now we've got Oriole basketball. 11:42 left in the first half. That last foul was on number 12, if you're keeping score at home, and that's Samantha Grock, and her third foul.
Yeah, that's the 4th player for the Knights with 3 fouls. I was just going to say about Chalay's pass that time, she literally just turned and just fired that without even gaining any vision on where her teammate was, unfortunately, for the Knights.
Right, Orioles swinging it around nicely. 6 good passes in a row. And now Resnick finds Eder. Eder misses the shot. Abigail Olsen. And they go down in a scrum.
I don't think they're going to exchange holiday cards, Abby Olsen, but her aggressiveness was able to be a big part of the reason St. Louis Park keeps possession.
Agreed. So now we've got Jane Henderson throwing it in. This is the 4 across play. She looks for the cutter, which is Eder. Eder goes up, and she misses the layup, and Olsen there with and she gets blocked.
She gets blocked.
And the ball is picked up by Meyer. She gets it off to Shalai, and she held her pivot, and the jump ball. And a scrum again.
Boy, I'll tell you, the holiday cards exchange and the gift exchange is not going to take place. This is a fiercely contested game. 32-28 with 11 minutes remaining here. It's really been enjoyable to watch the battle down low, too, between Abby Olsen and Dalio, because they are just fighting tooth and nail for that ball. Also interesting to watch on defense for both teams is is a lot of defense switching. Teams going from man to man as Park's in a man-to-man now. Oh, nice drive that time.
I like the spin away, but now that nobody goes for the ball. And, oh, she missed Mara. Let's see, Resnick gets her, and Resnick hands it off. And Mara Henderson misses the bunny. And then they throw it away. John, nobody wants the ball. Somebody take the butter off the basketball, please.
There's some sticky buns in the oven, and nobody's able to hang on to those tonight.
Oh, my
Nice
goodness.
job by Resnick, able to find Mara. Her sister Jane had her initially open after the rebound situation, but Jane looked left for Lauren, and then Lauren fired it up.
So Resnick fires, she misses, and the ball goes off to Courtney Carr. So we're at the 10.5 minute mark, and it's a 4-point lead for the Knights. And we're back to a man-to-man defense for the Orioles, and that's Ederer on Meyer.
And Meyer, and Mike, you mentioned it earlier.
They got Daniel way low. So Olsen was fronting her, and she figured out a way. They got her to her on the low block.
That's 10 for Dalio for the Knights.
Resnick looks over, gives it to Mara. Mara swings it over to Caitlin Ederer. Ederer misses the three-pointer. And Daglio, and she fires.
Wow, almost an over the back, and then she almost hit her with the high elbow.
There's a lot of, and there's a push-up by Carr that wasn't called. Resnick battles with her, and there is no love lost between these two teams. Baseline, and missed a shot. Nobody's rebounding for the Orioles. They might be going through some fatigue at this point. Shalai dribble, she bounce passes to Carr. Carr on the baseline, she picks up her dribble, and they swing it over to Meyer. Meyer from three, no, and nobody gets the rebound. That's Henderson. Henderson looks up, she gives it to Amy. Amy Schultz goes in, left-handed layup, it's good!
Beautiful for Schultz, and a beautiful dish that time.
So Henderson looks up, hit her early enough, and Amy Schultz with the left-handed layup, and now the score is 4 points again.
So a beautiful job using the left hand, and just what the doctor ordered for St. Louis Park this time is Skylar Nagorski comes back in the game to replace Abby Olson. So Orioles still able to maintain a strong offensive posture down low there. And I didn't catch the other number on the
it was
other player that entered.
Nagorski and Jane Henderson in for Abigail Olson and Lauren Sweetfeet Resnick. And Schultz misses the free throw. Again, the Orioles continue to have troubles at the charity stripe, John. So that's, sorry.
No, I was going to say, we'll see if the Orioles can rectify that. Only a 4-point game, just under 10 minutes remaining. Although Abby Olson's being spelled right now.
Wide open. Delaney Kohler, and she gets the basket. Jane Henderson tried to slide under and take the charge, but John, you cannot take a charge that deep under the basket. It's going to be called on you every time.
And look at the clear-out situation here. Man-to-man defense, but everybody's pulled out, and it leaves her plenty of room to throw the left-hand layup in.
And you could see where Skylar and Jane could have slid over a little earlier for the weak side help.
Yeah.
It didn't rotate. It needed to. So Delaney Kohler makes the basket, and makes the free throw, and all of a sudden it's a 7-point lead.
Yeah, so 3-point play for her along with Meyer and Dalio, the big three offensively for the Knights.
So, Schultz had it open, and she gives it over to Caitlin Eder, who misses a three. And the shooting continues the shooting woes for the Orioles continue. So
I was going to say, Mike, I know the Orioles have an assortment of timeouts still to use. I don't know if Coach Sension is thinking about calling one. I think one of the things the Orioles might need to look at is taking a little break here, getting Abby Olson back in the game and running that Twin Towers formation. We've had a lot of success on the interior, and with Dalio still having a lot of fouls, we might really want to push the envelope and see if we can get her fourth on her.
You know, John, the other thing we could do, and then I agree with you, but the dribble drive. If we drive into her, there we go. Well,
right,
Jane tried to draw the foul and, penetrate and dish.
Yep.
Unfortunately, that time it didn't work out as Henderson turns the ball over, and now Meyer brings it over the timeline. Meyer, all right hand, goes over to Norton. Norton, top of the key to Shalai. And you're right, John, because just as you say that, Olsen comes to the scorer's table. And now you've got Delaney over to Shalai. Shalai, she uses her left-hand dribble. There you go. Norton from three. She's been the X factor tonight.
And she grabs her own rebound.
Oh, beautiful. And she misses the bunny. Here we go. They're off to the races. Caitlin Eder goes a 1-on-2. She looks for Schultz, and it's a little too late, John.
And we'll have to see as the Orioles bring in Abby Olson and Lauren Resnick back to the game. Don't know if Coach Sension is looking to call a timeout here, but 7:45 is what remains. It is a 7-point game. Plenty of time for the Orioles. you know, I know Mara Henderson seems to be breathing kind of hard, and some of the young ladies, but
Resnick just short. She's got to use her legs a little bit on that. You know, this late in the game, you got to use everything. So Henderson is guarding Meyer now. She's going to make her work.
Yep.
Try to turn her. Olsen fronting Dayglow.
Down low, yeah, absolutely.
And Resnick top going after Carr. She gives her a little forearm shiver. Oh, and Henderson takes down Meyer, but she helps her up. So it looks like it was a, you know, an aggressive play, but not intentional.
And I believe that's fourth on Mara as well. We'll have to see if they put it up there. Yeah, it is. Yeah. So unfortunately for the Orioles, but still, she's going to stay in the game.
And they found Carr on the baseline. Resnick recovers quickly. She picks up her dribble. And there's Meyer. Meyer off to Norton. Norton with the dribble drive, and she can't get it through. Olsen picks up the loose ball. And now Henderson. Mara bringing it up. They're really pushing the issue here, John. There we go. Caitlin swinging it back to Mara. Mara back to Caitlin.
I'd like to see the Orioles either get some dribble drive penetration, as you mentioned, or else try to find Abby pinned down low on the baseline here.
Oh, they had Olsen at the free throw line, but it just, the gap. There you go, Resnick to the baseline. She finds, that's Skylar Nagorski from Lauren Resnick. And John, that shows you what ball movement is all about. They moved it and they were patient and they hit the open person, and Skylar rewarded Lauren with a basket and an assist, so that was good.
It was really nice of Lauren to set that up. And the other thing,
right back is Delaney Kohler. So they answer quickly.
That's 13 for her. I was going to say the nice thing about that too was having Nagorski down on the baseline as she fires up another shot. Even though that one didn't go, it pins the center Daglio I keep calling her Daglio down and pulls her out and gets Abby a chance to get any kind of weak side rebound there too by getting the big girl out of the middle.
Excellent observation. So Carr swings it over to Meyer. And Daglio can't hang on. She kind of dribbles, picks it up, and gets through. And Norton gets blocked by Ederer, and Daglio is there, and then Ederer gets the rebound. Caitlin looking up, she missed Skylar, but she's going to keep it under control. Now she works it through. Resnick on the wing. Resnick, there we go. That almost couldn't get through. Ederer pulls up, and Ederer can't hit, and that's Skylar Nagorski underneath, and she makes the basket. So credit Skylar for the offensive rebound in the basket, and John, we've got a 5-point ball game.
Beautiful job. Skylar, 3 possessions in a row. 2 hoops and a missed shot, but they're going to her, and she's getting the boards.
You know, the Orioles have a lunch bucket program, and I think Skylar is out to win that bucket tonight.
Well, I don't know who wears the hard hat in practice, but someone should.
Rebound goes to Olsen. She can't get it. And a loose ball gets out to Courtney Carr. Courtney gives it over to Delaney Kohler, and she waits to set up.
It was a nice play by Daglio, able to sweep that out of her hands, and she gets away with a little push-off there.
Wow.
Daglio got away with a push-off down low there.
She got really deep. Olsen with the defensive look up, and she gives up her dribble. There we go. Mara, she's got numbers.
Just under 5 minutes remain here.
Resnick, she wants the 3. She can't hit. There's Ederer with a beautiful offensive rebound. She gets it over to Mara. Mara looking to swing it back. And Caitlin takes time. There you go. Skylar at the wing, at the elbow. She just missed. And off the ball.
Nice job by Abby Olsen, able to just get her hand in there, and it went off the foot of Kohler. And Park down 5 with 4.5 to go. Neither team really wanting to use a timeout here as Nagorski takes another break here, and I'm thinking this will just be momentary.
Yeah, interesting substitution there. 2 of the more active players in that last set are getting a blow here. So Resnick finds Mara in the corner, who swings Schultz at the elbow. Amy Schultz goes, she can't hit. Olsen going to the ground. There's a whole lot of contact going on, and Henderson has to pull back because she's got 4 fouls, John.
I like that line, Mike. A whole lot of contact going on. When we watch the replay of this game, we're going to see a lot of that.
3-pointer wide open. So whatever they're doing defensively didn't work there. We had a missed assignment, which cost us 3 points.
And that was Kohler, I believe, who hit that. And here's Mara.
Kohler and Mara Henderson
answers with her own trifecta.
So Henderson gets it from Schultz, and Jane Henderson just got an earful from Coach Senshin as he comes down. I think she might have been the one that missed her assignment there. And Jane, helping out. Now they're in the hustle play. And Jane's giving her a little ride.
Nice job by Resnick, able to pinch on her heart.
Delaney's wide open again. Grab that ball.
No box out on the weak side that time.
Olsen picks up the ball off the floor. And then a foul on Meyer. Meyer stops the fast break.
I don't know, Paul, if we have that last sequence, if you can go to that, but there wasn't any defensive support. We can go back to, as you watch the Orioles here on the three-pointer by Mara, rim rattling around and going in. And then when the ball was brought down on the other side, no one on the weak side there to box out, and number 12, Grook, came in and just about swooped in for, watch this here. You see Meyer and Grook on the weak side here, and everybody's pulled to this strong side of the court here. And watch this, you got 2 white jerseys on the weak side, and just barely Grook missed it there.
Yep, Grock was in the right spot, and Henderson travel, so turnover. And that was a prime opportunity, John. We had
down 5.
5 point, they could have cut it to 3, and the Knights have been able to get baskets, so let's see if they can hold them. That's Norton, the speedster.
Olsen down low again, still on Daglio. That's the matchup down low. Daglio off of a nice
open.
Kick. Nice
and
kick.
She's bouncing around, and then she shoots. Oh, she travels. Could have been a foul on Olsen, but she called her on the travel.
Yeah, I don't know if she knows who Van McCoy was, but she was doing the hustle as she shuffled her feet that time.
Well, I got to tell you, her bags were packed because she knew she was going on a trip. All right, so Oriole basketball. Jane Henderson into Caitlin Eder. Eder over the timeline. She dribbles, right-handed power dribble. She goes over to Schultz. Schultz on the wing. She's extended. And now they swing it back to Jane Henderson, who stops, pops, and misses the basket. But Mara Henderson's there. She goes up. She doesn't use the backboard. And then Jane gets the rebound.
Yeah, there's a sequence where from 5 feet out being contested, the glass would have been an ally there.
Yeah, you got to use it at that 45-degree.
Oh, Abby flashes to the elbow.
Oh, beautiful pass by Schultz. And then Olsen with her own rebound. She misses again. And then
another rebound.
Mara Henderson on the offensive board. They go to the floor. Jane picks it up. And the Knights are just standing around, and Carr gives her the hip shake. I think that was the
hippie shake there.
The hippie shake she gave her.
I have to say, this is the most intense game I've seen of the Park girls the last 2 years. And granted, it's a close game with only 2:34 remaining. Be interesting what Coach Senshin has drawn up here. Good offensive rebounding in that sequence. Nice to see Abby Olsen. She flashed to the right elbow that time, missed the 15-footer, but came right back to get a rebound, missed again, and then Mara was able to get the rebound.
Amy Schultz from the corner, she can't connect.
Mara
Henderson, another offensive where she goes up, she gets blocked. Oh, and they call a jump ball. I don't know what the Orioles have to do to get a foul on the offensive side, but it's not going their way tonight.
There's so many bodies down there too, and the referee is so far not anywhere near behind the basket in position there.
Well, they had 3 referees, they still couldn't find the foul, and there's Schultz. Schultz airballs it. Schultz gets the rebound. She finds Eder. No, she can't make the basket.
And looks like
and it's out of bounds, and that's Oriole basketball.
I don't know. I don't. Hard for me to see that sequence that the ball is in the Orioles' point of view, but maybe it was that the Knight player just.
Oh no, she did. She was the last one to touch it. The obvious call would have been a fall there, but the Orioles benefited from it. And Shalai goes up, Olsen goes up, and it's off Olsen.
Only 2:11 remaining. Orioles still down 5.
And the Orioles are looking, they just need someone to step up here, John. They're looking for a spark plug.
I keep waiting to see what's going on the bench there. You still got Nagorski, who had the nice 2 baskets out of 3 possessions, and then she got pulled out of the game right away. I don't know if she's really tired or.
Well, definitely not in foul trouble. Eder gets the steal. She's dribbling, but it's a 1-on, now it's a 2-on-5, and they're set. Mara Henderson to Jane Henderson. Jane, ball fake. She had Olsen. She finds her, and Olsen is short. And the ball goes out to Carr. Carr quickly up to the speedster. And that's Norton. And Norton goes in uncontested. And John, that might have been the nail. Let's take a look. 37-44, 1:40 left. Jane Henderson dribble drive and another. Well, they really bailed her out that time, John.
Yeah, they did. A little bit wild there. And Norton, the power of Norton has got it. So she breaks quickly again. And look she's 10 feet behind the Oriole defender. She goes to the right hand, able to rattle it in for points number 10 and 11.
They figured out that they can just release on the Orioles at this point, and they are basically playing with 4 back. So senior captain Jane Henderson makes the first of 2. And that's the 4th foul on Daglio.
Right, and we'd mentioned earlier she had 3 in the first half with 4 minutes to go, so good job by her.
They really, and Jane makes both of them in timeout for the Orioles. So they really figured out a way to control themselves and stay under control. Looks like the Orioles are making a substitution. It looks like Resnick is going to go in. And we don't know who the substitution's for yet. So a minute 35, Orioles down by 5 here.
I was going to say, you mentioned, Mike, earlier that I believe we counted 13 or 14 fouls on Irondale in the first half with 3 players, including 3 of their main players, including Meyer and Daglio, with 3 fouls. Daglio finally gets her 4th foul, but you look up here, even with all that aggressiveness in the second half, so in my opinion, the refs have kind of put the whistles away.
Yeah.
I still think there's as much aggressiveness as there was in the first half, but Irondale's only been whistled for 5 fouls in the whole half, and Park only 2, and you know, when Park doesn't have the 2 bigger girls in there at the same time together, it seems like maybe advantage to the Knights when they can free up Daglio down there.
Yeah. You know, the Orioles are coming off a really challenging time here. They, as John mentioned earlier, they lost one of their coaches, the assistant varsity coach last year, Joel Cook, who was a lot of people refer to him as Mr. St. Louis Park. He was at all of the events. A real tough loss for them. And then shortly after that, their head coach, Hakeem Khalik, decided that he was going to accept a position at Mound West Tonka for coaching the boys. And so it's really been a challenging year so far for these young Orioles. And it's good to see that they're still contesting and they're still working to get better.
Absolutely. And tonight's a great indication of their improvement.
And are they going to call a foul? I think they are.
On Jane, I guess. Yeah. I guess on Jane Henderson.
Yeah. So foul on senior captain number 10. That's Jane Henderson. And I believe that's her 2nd foul. It is a team 3rd. So Orioles are in a zone press and they're swarming. Norton, you can't get behind her because all you're going to see is the back. And Jane did a good poke check, but Abby couldn't get to the ball. That would have been Oriole basketball.
And Jane almost went flying right out the doors there. Of course, that used to be the main entrance to the arena.
You're right. She was ready for Dakota Avenue on that one. So now we've got Delaney Kohler throwing it in for the Knights.
Only a minute 24 remaining. Park really boxing out in the middle, making sure nothing on the inbounds play is going to get down low.
I don't expect. There we go. They get it into Daglio. And a good steal. Resnick picks it up. She's looking for help. There you go. Ederer. We've got a minute 17. Orioles need a basket. This is big.
No foul. Either team in
Resnick,
the bonus.
good bounce pass into Olsen. Olsen goes up strong. She can't make the basket.
Wow.
And it was either off of Resnick or Eder, both going for the ball aggressively. A great entry pass. You'll see Resnick here on the wing.
Watch that entry
She does the ball fake.
Again with the left hand, too. She can really switch it up. And Abby rim rattled that around, and it just came out.
Yep, there was a lid on the basket there. All right. They break the press easily. Here comes Norton, and she brings it over.
Good. That was a smart play by Norton. Very smart play.
The clock. 57 seconds left. Caitlin gets the fall from behind. And we've got some angry Knight fans in front of us. They can't believe that the foul was called here.
Yeah, that's on Caitlin, her first. Only 55 seconds remaining, but I was going to say in the last sequence, Knights are up 5. Norton's driving towards the hoop, but it's not completely uncontested, so she pulls it back out.
And I think Abigail Olsen gave her the little hip shake.
Yeah.
And that's is that her 2nd or 3rd, John?
That is her, I believe that's her 4th foul.
And they still had fouls to give. It's 5 fouls each. And that's her 3rd foul.
I apologize. I had 4.
That's all right. So now they've got Kohler throwing it in. She finds Meyer. Nice. Resnick gives her a little bump, and they don't call it, and Resnick gives her another one, and they finally call the foul.
Yeah, I thought one should have been whistled a little earlier there, but I guess if they're not going to call it, you got to foul harder.
Yeah, you know. No blood, no foul, I guess.
No Cardinelli, one of the officials tonight. And
so 47 seconds left, and now the Knights are just going to try and work some clock. Meyer gets tripped by Schultz. She's going to have some sore knees tomorrow. She's got those knee braces on. And a lot of the girls choose to wear those. The coaches like it because they think that it makes the kids more aggressive.
Well, whatever, I tell you, whatever, I know Adrian Peterson was wearing the first couple weeks when he came back from his ACL, and it obviously worked for him. He played aggressive and he could scrap it. Only 42 seconds remain. Knights are going to be in the 1-1 the rest of the game here, as the Orioles are at 7 fouls.
Oh, over the back on Daglio, and they're not going to call a foul, but just off Knights. So, or off Irondale. So 44, 39, 41 seconds, and now the Orioles are going to push it up. Henderson to Henderson. Henderson throw. That's Jane.
Oh, she made that.
And Jane wings one up there, and she gets the basket, and now we've got a timeout called.
So Jane able to get up to 6 points. It was somewhat of a contested jump shot. I kind of thought they were going to try to swing it back out to Mara because it was a relatively contested shot. I mean, if you look here.
You're going to see it again. Jane takes one dribble, goes right into traffic, and kind of throws it up, and it goes in. So, you know, to the Orioles' benefit, we're looking at a 3-point game, 34 seconds left, and the Knights are going to have to throw it in from the baseline, correct?
Correct. And St. Louis Park, this is probably a good thing that St. Louis Park's got 7 fouls on him, because any kind of foul is going to send him on down for a 1-1 sequence. And we've talked about the Orioles' troubles at the foul line, but the Knights haven't been any great shakes as well tonight at the line. So we'll see what happens as the Orioles come on out with the Henderson sisters and Abby Schultz and Abby Olson, and is that Lauren Resnick on the weak side? Or?
They just made a substitution. So you've got Ederer.
Oh, Caitlin Ederer, yep. Only
So
34 seconds remain here.
Carr throwing it in. She gets it in quick. Delaney Kohler gets fouled. Oh, and a travel should be called. There it is. So they force the travel.
Norton turned around quick, but Mara Henderson ran full speed at her, and I think she saw that and almost got a little petrified there.
So we've got Caitlin Ederer throwing it, 30 seconds left. She's going to throw it into Jane. Jane Henderson top of the, she picks up her dribble, looks the other way. Now they reverse it. Jane takes the slide in. She goes up with the right hand. She can't hit it. And Mara Henderson with the rebound. Mara goes up and no call. And she misses the shot. Schultz goes to the floor. Mara goes to the floor.
It's like a rugby scrum down there.
It is a scrum.
I mean, I've never seen so many arms and legs.
Here we go. Look at it again. You can see that that ball just has butter all over it. And the Orioles managed to come up with it. Now they bring in Nagorski.
I thought they called a jump ball scenario.
And now they're bringing in Resnick, so it's very tactical play.
Now here I'm confused. I thought they called the jump ball. Possession is in favor of Irondale.
Oh, it is, but
I think the light was in favor, but did they not call a jump ball?
No, I think what happens is that Ira presses the button as soon as the ball is changed. So the scoreboard does press it.
Because I literally looked over there immediately and saw the red light.
So the arrow goes to the Orioles, and now they're looking to get it in. Caitlin, no. Caitlin, she throws it away, and Resnick has to foul.
And Tim said we should mention that Skylar Nagorski in the game here. Only 12 seconds remaining. That was a bad turnover.
That was a rough one. I know they didn't try and do that. I think they were trying to force the ball around. You know, it's interesting. I think Tim brought in Lauren and Skylar, two of the better outside shooters for the Oriole team,
right?
To make the 3-point play. So we've got Norton on the line, shooting 1-1 on the breakaway. And she makes the first one, so that's going to make it a little tough for the Orioles, as now she extends the lead to 41-45, 4-point lead, 12.5 left here in the second half.
2-possession game now for St. Louis Park.
And the second one is good. So, boy, the Knights have had no problem at the charity stripe. And timeout Orioles. So we'll look to see if Tim makes another substitution here. They definitely need to get something off quick, John.
Well, and yeah, as you watch the last sequence here, Caitlin saw her, and then unfortunately looked like Lauren was going to break left to right, and I think she thought Lauren was going to break back, and unfortunately that didn't occur.
Yeah, it was just too long of a pass at that point. She had two people on the block, or a person on the block and one in the corner on the right side, and I think just tried to reverse it too quick. On that play, John, you probably want to take a drive or a dribble towards the middle of the floor, get that player to commit, and then as Lauren breaks backdoor, they've got a nice backdoor play.
Right. Say not the most opportune time to bring this up, but we just wanted to send a special shout out to Elena Basil, the freshman hockey player for St. Louis Park, who was struck down by a pretty serious concussion about a week and a half ago. It was her third concussion. Elena is not the leading scorer on the girls hockey team, and she's also out for the season. Our best thoughts and wishes go out to her. I know Emmett Bongart's had a similar injury that ended his hockey career, so get well soon, Elena.
That's a good call out, John. All right, Ederer throws it in. Resnick picks it up, and she's got to push it. She's looking right. She gets it over to Mara Henderson. Mara tries to find somebody. She loses the ball, and that's a turnover. And again, it's Norton. Norton's been the X factor. Looks up to, oh, she traveled, and no basket, no basket. So the final score, Knights 46, Orioles 41. Again, a very well-contested game. Orioles coming up on the short side. And John, it's been a pleasure working with you again, and I look forward to doing another game. It's always good to see you as you tally up here.
Yeah, I was just going to say, as I'm tallying up some of the stats here, I really think a ton to build on today. This is only my third game of the season. Obviously, I saw the Highland Park victory, and I also saw the Southwest game, and I actually thought it was a step up in competition tonight too. I think Irondale, who had a relatively close game the other day with Chisago Lakes, is definitely, you know, and a very senior-oriented team is something really to build on. And I hope the girls really feel strongly, and Coach Senshin can really pull a lot out of it. I think there was so many right things to build on. You know, I guess I was really impressed with how Nagorski and Olsen worked well together in the paint. I believe when they were both in the game, I think Abby ended up with, it looks like she ended up with 14 points, and Skylar ended up with 8 herself. Mara Henderson chipped in with 9 for the Orioles. Her sister Jane banged out 6, and Skylar, Amy Schultz came up with a basket. For the Knights, just a quick recap, Norton didn't even start for them, and she ended up probably being in a way the MVP of the game, because she came off the bench for 14, including hitting an important 3 and a pair of important free throws that iced the game in the last 12 seconds. And Amy Kohler with 13, and then Daglio, again, she had 8 in the first half, only 2 in the second half. But the fact that none of the 3 girls that were in foul trouble, the Orioles weren't able to capitalize and find a way to get further foul trouble on those girls. Would have been nice if St. Louis Park could have got Daglio out of the game.
No, I can't agree with you more, John. It's a good recap, a good analysis, and you're right. You know, they definitely shut down Daglio in the second half. They did a great job, but really the X factor tonight was Norton. Norton, the speedster. They didn't have an answer. She released every time, and every time she released, she was at least 10 to 15 feet ahead of any of the Park players, and with that speed, you're not going to catch her.
And I just wanted to say too, you know, we talked a few times about how the Orioles probably have the youngest team, or one of, in the state. I mean, starting 4 sophomores and a freshman today, except for Jane Henderson's 4 points, the other 37 points in the game, all coming from 9th and 10th graders.
Right.
And you know, you talked a lot about Joel Cook and what happened with his loss, and also what happened as well with the coach stepping down. A really tough time over the May, June, July timeline. But I really hope, and I think this game should be something positive to build on. We have 2 more Oriole girls games to do. I believe our next one is January 8th. I think we have the hated Highlanders from Columbia Heights will be coming in. And I know I'll be here, and you will be. And
January 8th, and I believe February 8th is the next the broadcast after that. So we'll have, excuse me, 2 games coming up, and it'll be a lot of fun. And, you know, I will say, John, that after watching the Orioles play every game this year, I can tell you from game 1, where they couldn't break the press, to now, they are competing. They're in every game, and, you know, a lot of times it's just baby steps. If you can start by little things, and just even the amount of turnovers the Orioles have, and I don't know that we've got a number, but I can tell you that it probably is half tonight of what they had in their previous game. So if they can now start converting on the offensive side, I think that there's only good things to come. So I think that I know the coaches, you're never happy on the win-loss side, but when you can continue to close the gap and, you know, be competitive, that's all the coach can ask for. And, you know, maybe the next game those foul shots fall, and we have a different result.
And you mentioned the girls don't have any games during the break, but they'll be continuing to work hard, scrimmaging. And when they get back in early January to games, I want to encourage everybody to make your way out here to what we like to call Oriole Coliseum. Make your way out and make sure you support the park programs. Last thing I was going to say is, if you do want to order a copy of tonight's game, $15 or $10 if you have a group of 3 or more. You can call 952-924-2635, and make sure you tell your friends to go to parktv.org, Mike. Even if you don't have cable, tell your friends that for whatever reason, that don't have cable or don't live in the park, you'll be able to watch replays of this game on the internet if you go to parktv.org. And this is one you really want to watch and get a copy of, I would think.
Good call, John. So again, for John, Misty, and Paul, we want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Again, final score, the Knights 46 and the Orioles 41. For the whole team, I want to thank you. I want to wish everybody a happy holiday season. Be safe. John, again, I can't thank you enough for your time. It's been a pleasure working with you, my friend. And I look forward to seeing you again in a couple weeks.
The pleasure's been all mine, and I mean that.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good night.